Is effective international cooperation possible on a daily basis? How to convince a client that the distance is not a problem anymore? Today, Poland is one of the fastest growing economies in Central and Eastern Europe, with around 80,000 tech graduates entering the market every year. That means that more and more companies from the US is looking for the software developers in our country nowadays. My name is Isa Faber, and today I was talking to Allan Wilson, the CEO of the TeamAlert, one of our clients, about the Polish-American cooperation. But before we start, Allan, I would like to ask you to tell us a little bit more about yourself and what TeamAlert is actually.
Yes, thank you. My name's Allan Wilson, CEO of TeamAlert. TeamAlert is a cloud-based workplace panic button system for organizations to help their staff that feel alone during threatening situations. We help them feel protected, connected, and safe. We work with all types of organizations, including mental health, local government, education, and religious. And we help them with our easy-to-use hardware and software solutions.
Okay, and what were your business needs? Why have you, what prompted you to look for the technological partner?
Yeah, originally we had internal software developers that were working on our project, and from a leadership side of things, we found ourselves restricted to their developers' internally's methodologies and the speed of development, and it left us very constricted on what our options were and not a lot of flexibility. And so when the primary developer left for a family situation that they had to leave for, it led me to think about how could I improve the situation I was in, and I thought that outsourcing our development might give us a lot more flexibility and fresher ideas, and give us a lot better options. And that's when we began to look outside. Okay,
I understand. But how about Poland? What was the reason that you turned your eyes towards it at all?
So, with a technical background, I'd kind of keep in track of where things were happening, and we were currently kind of looking at US options, but I knew that a lot of American companies were outsourcing their development to other countries. And since I had a technical background, I thought that it might help us to speed and have better communication if we work directly with those companies that they outsource to. And so I used a website to help me find a partner. I was specifically looking for one in the European region and one in the Asian region, and Bold Air was the #1 that I looked at, and I knew that this region had really good software developers and were up to date on their technical ability, and so it helped me to feel really comfortable. I knew that that skill was there.
Okay, and was there anything you were afraid of?
Yeah. Working with a partner overseas, this was my first time doing something like that. And there was a lot of things that I was afraid of. I was afraid of the time zone differences, like how that would work together. I was worried about some of the legalities of working with an organization in a different country, regarding like code ownership, security, things like that, and language barriers. And so all of those things I was concerned about, but it was offset with the fact that I knew a lot of companies in America worked with companies in other countries all the time. And so I felt like those were probably internal fears and I could overcome those.
Okay, so what was the ultimate argument to decide to cooperate with the company from Poland? Why Boulder, actually?
Yeah. It was great customer service and a great work ethic, which was internally some values that we have in our company. Originally, I took the fear route and chose a local company because having them close made me feel better. We ended up having something happen and we had to move our timeline up significantly. The local vendor just kind of, said that wasn't their problem. and which didn't sit well with us because we were trying to find a partner. Bold Air had stayed in contact with us through that entire process, which really impressed me. And they seemed to have a genuine interest in the benefit of our company having a good outcome. So when that opportunity arose, I brought the problem to Bold Air and said, is there any way you guys can meet this timeline? And you were able to say that you did, or you could, and you were able to meet that expectation. And so we were able to start the project and move forward.
Okay, if one of your friends would ask about the cooperation with a Polish company, what would you tell them where they should start, for example?
I think going to one of the review sites is a great place to start. You know, in us in particular, we highly recommend Bold Air because of our positive experience working with you, but also with the positive reviews that you guys have from all the sources that are out there. But I think it's important to hear from other companies that have worked with these partners so that you can make sure you're picking somebody that has a good reputation.
All right. Is there anything that they should pay special attention to, for example, to avoid something, or could you give some tips, for example?
I think realistically, everything that I was worried about became not that big of an issue, except for possibly time zone. That seems to be probably the biggest thing going into it, in that you know, usually, you know, Bold Air's been great about working with us during our time zone, and we're able to find times that work with both organizations. But I think going into it, you just have to realize if you're picking a European partner or a partner in Poland, that their days are very early compared to our days. So you probably need to be a morning person, because a lot of the work that you're going to be doing is going to be during that time. And so I think for us, it works out great, and we've kind of built everything around that. But I think that's the biggest thing to look at.
Well, that doesn't sound actually like a big issue, I think.
It really isn't. Yeah, it worked out to be a small one, and surprisingly, that's probably the biggest issue we've had to overcome, and it wasn't even a very big one.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you, Allan, for today and for sharing your thoughts with us. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. It's been great.